This is the new BMW 3 Series on the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. The car has been a byword for both elegance and speed since 1975. This is the sixth version of the 3 Series. It's one of BMW's most successful cars, and it's sold in 132 countries around the world. So just what is the secret to the car's popularity? Udo Händler from BMW says there is a certain type of classic 3 Series driver who is younger and wants to drive a fast car. But there are conservative drivers who drive the 3 Series, both old and young. There's a wide spectrum of people who are typical 3 Series buyers, but there are regional variations, he says. In China, 3 Series drivers are very young, while in other countries they tend to be a little older. So there really are very big variations. There's no specific target group. That makes developing the car just that little bit more difficult and interesting. In October of this year in Munich, BMW employees were introduced to the new 3 Series for the first time.
Liebe BMW-Werker, und jetzt einmal der Blick nach oben, jetzt fällt das Banner.
It was a moment of great anticipation for BMW employees.
Und da ist er! Das ist die Weltpremiere der neuen Reihe!
Just like its predecessor, the new 3 Series is being built in Munich. 7 different versions of the car were presented at the premiere. The new 3 Series has a lot to live up to. A third of all cars that roll off the BMW production line is a 3 Series model. A lot is depending on the new version maintaining that record of success. That's a big challenge for everyone at BMW, who was part of the car's design team. Perhaps the most important characteristic of every BMW model is its design. Adrian van Hooijdonk played a major role in deciding the new 3 Series look. The designer says the front end of the car is typical BMW, thanks to its kidney-shaped grille, but it's flatter and wider than its predecessors. The new thing about this generation of the car is the headlights that flank the grille. That provides an interesting look to this side of the car, and it shows how important the grille is. The headlights are wide and flat, and they have the most modern LED technology inside. All in all, it adds up to what we like to call concentrated styling. It's a look that people will notice in the rearview mirror. The car is almost 10 centimeters longer than the last version. Passengers in the rear seat have 1.5 centimeters of more legroom. We wanted to achieve a sporty feel in the styling of the car's sides. We're using these 2 lines to get that look. It's just 2 offset lines, but they rise constantly as they move to the rear of the car. That gives the car the impression that it's moving forward. Even when it's standing still, it has the appearance that it's moving. The interior is very sporty and oriented on the driver's needs. In principle, the entire cockpit has been designed around the driver. It gives you the feeling that the driver has absolute control over this high-tech vehicle. I think this version of the 3 Series shows that more than the 5 Series or the 7 Series. The car's look is defined by 3 character lines that determine color coordination. This is the Sport line. The interior has been given a red note. But let's get back to the car we saw at the world premiere. BMW employees immortalized themselves by signing the car using marker pens. This car was driven by a BMW trainee. A great honor and an unforgettable moment for Felix Grübner.
It was very exciting and my heart was beating fast. I was listening to the presenter and waiting for the command to go over the walkie-talkie, he says.
Then came the order for car 4 to go, and then I drove off. The curtain went up and everyone was cheering. It was fantastic. My nervousness disappeared completely, and I just felt totally happy. And that feeling of joy continues on the test track. This BMW 328i has a 2-liter twin-power turbo 4-cylinder engine with 180 kilowatts. It takes 5.9 seconds to reach 100 kilometers an hour. Its official average consumption rate is 6.4 liters. That's an attractive figure. But just where in the world is the 3 Series most popular? The U.S. is still our biggest market for the 3 Series. China is next, which is a new development. In third place is Germany, and then other countries in Europe. It's very popular in Britain and France. Europe is a very big market for the 3 Series, especially Germany. The car arrives in showrooms in February. A hybrid version of the new 3 Series is due to go on the market in autumn 2012. They're sporty, can fit in nearly any parking spot, and they're affordable, both in purchase price and in terms of operating costs. Compact cars, such as the Peugeot 207 or the Sirion from Daihatsu. Both models came onto the market at about the same time, but there are a number of differences. Our test driver will give them both a detailed look over. Which one is the better deal? The Daihatsu, which in Germany goes for about 11,500 euros, or the 207, which starts at 13,650. First up is the Sirion. Test driver Matas Kurat says the steering wheel is kind of far away. Its height can be adjusted, but not the distance from the driver. He can't actually move any further forward because his knees would be in the way. Headspace is noticeably not a problem, though. A car that even tall people would feel comfortable in. What about the rest of the interior? Mata says the interior reminds him of a child's toy car with the oversized buttons, and the workmanship could also be better, pointing out how the flap just falls down when opened. That could be better, he says. The Sirion comes with a choice of 3 different gasoline engines between 51 and 76 kilowatts of power. A 4-wheel drive version is also an option. The 1-liter engine, according to factory specs, should only need 5 liters of fuel for 100 kilometers, but in our test, it was more than 6 liters. Our test driver praises the features on the Sirion: 4 power windows, power mirrors, and air conditioning, even though that significantly lowers engine power when turned on. French elegance versus Japanese practicality. The different shapes of the 2 cars make it hard to notice that the 207 is about 40 centimeters longer than the Sirion. That definitely gives the Daihatsu a leg up when looking for parking, but more space, especially in the trunk, for the Peugeot. Looking closely, it's clear that the French pay more attention to detail, especially in the interior. On the lower right, fabric in the Peugeot, whereas the Sirion is a sea of plastic. Now it's time for our test driver to get behind the wheel of the 207. First impressions? Mata says the interior design of the Peugeot seems much more refined and more mature than the Daihatsu. There's not as much headspace as in the Daihatsu, but there is more space up front, and the steering wheel adjusts to or from the driver. The Peugeot comes with only 2 power windows. In the rear, you have to crank them. Our test vehicle has a 70 kilowatt 1.4 liter gasoline engine. That provides plenty of power. Fuel consumption is higher than the Daihatsu, but on the road, it's only marginally higher. Next, we see how quickly the two can accelerate on the motorway. First, the Daihatsu. Manta says that on the motorway, comfort takes a back seat. Wind noise is kind of loud. Now at 150 kilometers an hour, the somewhat loose steering does not give him a feeling of safety either.
Zu einem, sage ich mal, guten Sicherheitsgefühl bei.
What about the Peugeot? Manta says there's also wind noise in the Peugeot, but even though the steering is soft, it's still not as loose as in the Daihatsu and just makes it feel safer. But in Germany, that will cost at least 2,160 euros more, and comparable features will increase the difference in prices. Manta says his recommendation is that those who have the choice should skip the Daihatsu and buy a used 207 instead. Mercedes is presenting the new generation of the SL model. The luxury roadster takes the abbreviation SL, Sporty Light, seriously. Just as with the original SL in 1952, weight reduction remains a constant theme with the SL, with the latest model weighing up to 140 kilograms less than its predecessor. The engines are up to 29% more fuel efficient as well. Prices in Germany for the 225 kilowatt dream car begin at 93,500 euros. Orders are already being taken. Audi has completely reworked its A4 series. It has a more distinctive design thanks to horizontal lines in the front. The hood is arched more, and the bumper has also been redesigned with square air intakes. The A4 comes in 6 diesel and 4 gasoline versions, from sedan to station wagon. The 2-liter TDI with 100 kilowatts of power is the most fuel efficient at just 4.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Some 10 million models of the A4 and its predecessor, the Audi 80, have been sold since 1972. Two years ago, production was halted. Now it's back, the Jeep Compass. With incorporation of the Jeep brand into Fiat, the model line has been completely revamped. With a new look and new engines, the compact SUV is back. Dirk Bott from Jeep says the Compass fits into a growth segment since it has been completely reworked from top to bottom, and the interior as well, meaning it can't be compared to its predecessors. We promise, he says, that we can meet the demands of customers, on-road as well as off-road. While its previous models took some getting used to in terms of appearance, the new Compass is significantly more approachable. It strongly resembles the larger Grand Cherokee. In the hood, as well as grille, sharper angles and modified fenders. At first glance, it would be easy to mistake it for its bigger cousin. The hatch and rear have been completely reworked and give the compact SUV an urban touch. The interior is very organized, an orderly instrument panel with new features. The steering wheel has remote controls for hands-free mobile use, radio, and cruise control. Everything seems top quality and refined. The Compass comes in either the sport or limited varieties with leather seats, climate control, chrome elements, and 18-inch instead of 17-inch rims. Jeep offers the Compass with two gasoline engines with 115 and 125 kilowatts of power. And there are two diesel models, as well with a newly developed 2.2-liter diesel engine with either 100 or 120 kilowatts. We tested the more powerful diesel, which can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 10.6 seconds and uses on average 6.6 liters of fuel per 100 kilometers. The Compass does not have fuel-saving technology such as start-stop or regenerative braking, but Jeep is still hoping the Compass will mix up the compact SUV market. Jeep's Dirk Bott says the Compass is the company's entry model and is therefore appealing to a younger market. Next up is the off-road Wrangler, and finally the Grand Cherokee, Jeep's flagship. This is definitely appealing to a young market segment that has not been previously reached with their models, he says. Prices in Germany for the gasoline models start at just over 25,000 euros. For the front-wheel drive diesel, they begin at just above 27,000 euros. All-wheel drive will set you back another 2,000 or so.